And on
All parties on Gabolios versus Murphy. Step forward, please.
71-year-old Arpad Gabolios is suing 35-year-old teacher Terry Murphy for trashing his house, not paying rent, and forging his checks.
Order. All rise. Now, this is case number 659 on the calendar in the matter of Gabolios versus Murphy. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mr. Gabolios,
Yes,
you own a home here in California?
Yes, I do.
And according to your complaint, you also live part of the year in Hungary.
Yes, I do.
And it's been your practice to rent your home during the period of time that you're there.
Exactly, Your Honor.
You rented your home to the defendant.
Yes, Your Honor.
When did her tenancy begin?
On February 1st and ended on November 1st of 1998.
And according to your papers, sir, the arrangement was she was to pay rent to an agent that you had here.
Exactly, Your Honor.
And the rent was, for a furnished house, was $500 a month?
Yes, Your Honor.
And she was to pay her own utilities with the exception of one thing.
The cable TV.
And you were to pay that?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to you, you left her some checks that were made out to the cable company for the months that you would be away.
That is absolutely correct, Your Honor.
And they were actually made out to the cable company?
Yes, Your Honor. Century Cable.
Tell me what happened, sir, when you came home at the end of October.
I came home on October 31st, and just about midnight, because the plane was late, and I found the door, the entrance door open. Most every light was on, and the whole house was a mess, and my bedroom, the master bedroom, was broken into.
Had you had that locked when you left?
Yes, Your Honor, it was locked.
So it was locked, and she had the use of all the other parts of the house except your bedroom?
Except my bedroom and except my wine cellar. Well, I have to explain, Your Honor, that the garage I converted to a wine cellar because I make my own wine. And then I found the sofa from the living room moved into the wine cellar. I also have pictures to show that, and I can show you how my whole house was trashed.
Let me see, please.
On one of those pictures, you can see the barrels, the wine barrels, and the sofa in front.
Is this the way you found the outside of the house, sir, with all these papers and garbage?
No, it was a couple days later, Your Honor.
What do you mean a couple of days later?
Well, because she left a few things behind, and I asked her to come and get it, but she didn't get it right away, and came back two days later or something, and then she trashed the sidewalk, as you see at the front.
You say that she didn't pay you rent. During what period of time didn't she pay you rent, sir?
She didn't pay the last month rent of October.
Did you pay him the last month's rent?
I paid the rent. I do not know what happened to it.
Show me, you paid by check.
The check never went through.
So that you didn't pay him. Take a look at this garbage on the front of his house. Tell me how that happened.
It happened because he came home, locked me out of the house, and threw all my belongings out of the house. That night, I had the police come and a locksmith to let me in. And the police told him he was responsible for any belongings of mine that were destroyed, lost, or damaged.
Why did you trash the front of that house?
I had to come over for 5 days in a row and go through the trash, go through the garbage in order to get my belongings out of the garbage.
Is that the reason that you're telling me that the front of his house looks like that?
Yes.
Okay. So I have $500 that you owe him for the last month's rent. Now, he says that you forged some checks. Show me, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
Show these to the defendant. Did you change the payee on those checks?
Yes, I did, Your Honor. May I explain?
Sure.
When I came, Your Honor, he had had somebody in there a short period of time. He wasn't going to rent to me, and then something happened between them. I came in, I paid a deposit on January 20th. I moved in on February 7th. Because of the short length of time, he said, I've got to find somebody, I'm leaving. He left the next day on the 8th. So I was to pay for the electricity, the telephone, and he was paying the rest of the utilities. That was the verbal contract. I do not have that in writing. In April, I came home one day and the water was turned off. I had no idea why. I called up the water company. They said, Mr. Gabolis hasn't paid for the water. So then I put the water in my name. In October, all of a sudden I come home, the gas is off. If I was to put them in my name, or if it was to be changed, he didn't stop them. I was unaware that they were supposed to be in my name. So I took the checks that he had given for the cable, and I paid the bills that I thought he was supposed to be paying.
You can't do that. You can't do that. That's forgery.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
I'm talking to you, madam, about calling your bank and saying, check number 467, put a stop payment on it immediately because it's lost. That's what normal people who are articulate do. Anybody who knows how to forge checks knows how to do that.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Arpad Gabolios claims Terry Murphy trashed his house, didn't pay rent, and forged his name on his checks. Terry is countersuing for her security deposit.
He gave you checks made out to a cable company, and you changed it to Southern California Edison, California Water. What's GTE?
The telephone company.
Telephone company, $285 in October. You were living there since February. He didn't have a phone bill for $285. Telephone. So you have an excuse for the telephone bill too?
At that point, I was tired of being harassed and having things turned off and having people come into my house without my permission. And yes, I got angry, and it wasn't the correct thing to do.
It sure wasn't. $285 for the phone, $72 for water, and $139.47 for Con Edison in October.
Your Honor, may I read part of the agreement which she signed?
Yes.
The rent is $500 a month plus $500 security deposit. The $500 rent is payable at the first Friday of every month to Tom Biscorny, neighbor and friend of Arpad Gabolios. During the above-mentioned 9 months, lesser will be in Hungary, and at that time, lessee will pay all utility bills, including gas, electric, and water bills.
At the time that occurred, Your Honor, he was leaving the next day. He didn't want to write a new lease agreement, and it was all verbal.
No, that's too bad. Just a second. Not finished yet. You also say that she stole some property from your house.
Yes, Your Honor.
What did she take?
She stole a table from my den. I have some proofs here. This is she left the 4 chairs and the leaf, the middle of that, and it shows even the.
Where's his table?
I have no idea, Your Honor. I didn't take his table. Other people had access to that house and came into the house without my permission and without notifying me. And there were people he gave the keys to.
Where did you go on October 31st when he came home? He came home, and I absolutely believe him, that the front door was open, that all the lights were on. Where had you gone that evening?
I had gone, it was a 3-day weekend. I'd gone out for the weekend. I didn't know he was coming home.
Just a second. So you went away from the weekend, you left the door unlocked.
No, I didn't, Your Honor.
And you left the door unlocked, and you left all the... Oh, he's telling me the truth. There's no question in my mind about that. What was the value of this table?
About $700.
Show me. You have to show me. Proof.
I don't have the table, Your Honor.
Well, you have a bill for it?
Well, no, I do not, because I bought it a long time ago, some 20 years ago.
Okay, 20 years ago, sir. It looks like a Formica table. Is that what it is?
No, wood table. Wood.
Wood table.
As you can see it on a picture, Your Honor.
Okay. Doesn't look like a very expensive table, sir. But whether she took it herself or whether because of her negligence. It was taken by somebody else. She's responsible for it. I've given you $300 for the table, sir. I want to tell you something. I find this business with forgery of checks very serious business, Miss Murphy. Very serious. You're just lucky he decided not to prosecute you. He could have.
Well, he was cited for criminal charges, and he's had previous criminal charges for what he's done to his tenants.
For what? With regard to you?
Forcible entry and unlawful detainer, and I didn't start the criminal action.
Well, how did the police find out about it?
Because I was locked out of the house, and I had been paying the rent. And
No,
I
you
came
didn't
home
pay-
and the locks were changed.
You didn't pay the last month's rent.
Well, Your Honor, you read my opening statements, correct?
I sure did.
Okay.
I'm asking you to show me a check.
I took the rent over to the person it's supposed to go to. I put it in to their mailbox. On October 14th, he called me up and said, I didn't get the rent for this month. I said, okay, can you put that in writing for me and I will issue you a new check. Never heard from him again
He
until
doesn't have to put it in writing, Miss Murphy.
Well,
If you're
when
a
my
smart-
mail is
you're-
being
you're-
stolen and people are
listen.
coming into my house.
Hey, Miss Murphy, I wasn't born yesterday, madam. When somebody says I didn't get a check, you don't say, put it in writing. You call your bank and you say, this is my check number. I want you to put a stop payment on that check because I'm reissuing a check. That's what you say. Anybody who knows how to forge checks knows how to do that.
Not when
So you
people have
fo-
been breaking into my house and taking my mail.
I don't care whether they have or not. I'm not talking about breaking into your house and taking your mail. I'm talking to you, madam, about calling your bank and saying, check number 467, has it cleared? No. Put a stop payment on it immediately because it's lost, because I'm issuing a new check for it. That's what normal people who are articulate do. And don't tell me you didn't know how to do that because I won't believe you.
I did know how to do it, but I
So
felt
why
he
didn't you
was-
do it?
Because I felt that the neighbor was playing games with me and I wanted it in writing.
That is the dumbest thing I ever heard.
Well, if
that is the
man
dumbest
is-
thing I ever heard. You believed the neighbor because he was playing games with you, so you wanted him to put it in writing instead of calling your bank and saying, put a stop order on the check.
I would have done both, Your Honor, and I
Why
would have
didn't
given
you
him the
do
check.
one? Just call and put a stop payment on the check. You thought you'd get away with the last month? Forget it. It's not going to happen.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And later today,
I made a mistake and I signed some paperwork I shouldn't have signed.
Of course not, because you were living together. Come on, this is ridiculous.
closed captioning sponsored in part by Real Cases, Real People, Judge Judy. 71-year-old Arpad Gabolios is suing 35-year-old teacher Terry Murphy for trashing his house, not paying rent, and forging his checks.
Now listen to me. You have a cross complaint. You want a return of your security deposit?
If I didn't get an explanation as to why I kept it, and he never asked me
Give her
for
the
rent.
pictures. That's the explanation. I want to tell you something, madam. If I came home and found somebody had forged my name to checks and hadn't paid rent and left my house open, unlocked, with all the lights on, I would have given you nothing. Nothing. Counterclaim is dismissed. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,296.47. Thank you.
Parties are excused. Please step out.
I shouldn't have changed his checks, but I was very angry and frustrated by them that things were turned off that weren't supposed to be turned off.
She didn't remember that she's supposed to pay all the utilities. You know, I mean, with her background, she has a major psychology or something like that. You know, I mean, it's rather obvious that she's a crook.
And now the next case.
All parties on Mitchell versus Miller. Step forward, please.
28-year-old lab tech Janet Mitchell claims former live-in lover, machinist Jonathan Miller, 27, owes her for supporting him while they were together.
Miss Mitchell, you and the defendant, according to the complaint, lived together for about 2.5 years. Is that right?
Yeah.
And you say that after a rather acrimonious breakup, he owes you a whole bunch of money for living expenses during that time.
Yes.
What kind of an arrangement did you have with the defendant with regard to living expenses?
There was no at the time arrangement. There was a period where after about a year we decided we were going to break up, and I made up an itemized list of what he owed me at that point. And we agreed that he would start making me payments. Well, we reconciled and decided not to break up at that point and give it a try, and we tried for about another 1.5 years. And after we had dissolved the relationship, I brought to him another itemized list of further expenses, and he signed it. I have the list.
Let me see it, please. Did you sign this, sir?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
So then what are you doing here?
I don't agree with the amounts. The reasons I had signed that at the time being was I was trying to reconcile with Janet at the time, and I thought that maybe that would help out, so I made a mistake and I signed some paperwork I shouldn't have signed.
But quite frankly, when I read your papers, and Miss Mitchell indicated in her papers that while you were together, you turned over your paycheck to her.
Yes,
Is that
ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
And she paid the bills.
Yes, ma'am.
And you agree that he gave his paychecks to you.
He did, but the expenses on that were above and beyond what was just normally paid for by the bills, which was electricity, rent, different things like that. The others were vacations for his children and his wife, ex-wife.
2 months without pay.
Yes.
What does that mean?
I was unemployed for about a month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah.
I was working, but it was as a salesman, so there wasn't income coming in. So.
Well, when this happened, when you were not working, did you have a discussion with each other about what was going to happen with this money?
No, we did not, due to my hours at the time period, Your Honor.
No, what I'm asking you is, at the time that you were out of work, did you discuss with him, well, you're out of work at this time, but I will cover the expenses, but you owe me what you would ordinarily be earning, so that when you get a job, you'll have to recoup this amount as well as another amount. Did you indicate that to him?
No, I didn't, but...
Of course not. Of course not, because you were living together. Come on, this is ridiculous.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY. On the internet, judgejudy.com.
What's a bike frame?
It's a mountain bike frame for a mountain bike. It's just the body without the tires, gears, derailleurs.
Well, how did you get it?
I purchased it from a company.
Did you pay for it?
It took me a year and a half to pay it off because it was a $1,200 frame. So I was paying on it monthly. And then I did receive a payment from Janet. She did give me a couple $100 to put down on the bike when I was buying it.
Was it a loan or was it a gift?
It was never stated either way.
Is that right?
Yes, it was. No, it was stated that it was a loan.
And what's the plane ticket for your kids, and I assume that this is your ex-wife?
Now it is, yes. About 2.5 years ago, I'd say, while Janet and I were living together, we had my daughter and my son and my ex-wife fly out for vacation so I could see my kids because it would be cheaper than us flying out there. And so we had my ex-wife and kids come out and visit us, and Janet did put that on her credit card.
Let me see the bills.
I don't have them. The only thing I had was that signed itemization that he gave me.
You don't have any bills?
No, I don't. I don't have... I didn't think that I would be needing to save those receipts or anything like that.
Miss Mitchell, clearly you had the bills, madam. Clearly you had the bills when, and all the amounts, when you made out this list. I mean, you have 2 nights with kids at a hotel, $32. Where did you get that figure from?
That was how much it was.
Well, where did you, what I'm asking you is
From
where
my memory. From my memory.
From your memory?
A lot of that stuff was done guesstimate by memory because I knew that it was $32 a night, and I didn't have the receipts, but I remembered that it was $32 a night.
I'm dismissing your case, that's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.